One one guy I'd like to meet is well, let me just say, if you really wanted the Chiron, good example of a Chiron natal chart, go back to podcast 11, because I did a good one with Moji. This guy is a really good guy, Moji, but how Chiron is in his chart kind of explains who Moji is in some way. But anyway, besides the point, you in astrology you can't really discriminate. You shouldn't discriminate to anybody in general. Not even in the zodiac. You shouldn't discriminate. It's not good. Um, wouldn't want to discriminate. Wouldn't want anybody to discriminate me. Um, shouldn't discriminate anybody in the zodiac as well. Uh, uh, certain signs have, well, basically, well, excuse me, all signs have this stigma of it's just, it has this stigma that's ridiculous. It's just dumb. Um, because Pisces and Aries are in the 12th or first house. People think that 12th in the 12th house and the first house are the self. People feel that Pisces and Aries are selfish. It's not true. Not all of them. Everybody's selfish in some way. Yeah, you can't stereotype. Stereotype's not good. Um, uh, uh, Taurus, they're not greedy, but they have that stigma. Geminis, they're not two-faced because you know, they're not two-faced because they have two faces on there. No. Um, Cancers are not overly emotional because they're ruled by the moon. Leos are not all selfish. It just everybody has these stigmas. All the signs have these stigmas, which aren't true. Besides the point. Okay, so Scorpios, they get a rough deal too. I mean, what the heck? To look like a reptile? That's just dumb. All right, so my first example to you tonight with Chiron is somebody I really wish I could meet. Um, he's the guitarist of the Eagles. Uh, I like his music. I think he's great. He's a great person. He's done a lot of charitable work. Is Joe Walsh. Um, Life has been good to me. That song, he wanted to run to be in the 80s. He wanted to run to be president of the United States, and he said he would he would pick his song "Life's Been Good to Me" as the national anthem if he became president of the United States. He's just a humorous guy. He's a really good guy. He co-wrote Hotel California in the Eagles, and he's a Scorpio, right? So he did admit a lot of substance abuse in his past, but he has overcome it. He overcame his substance abuse. He's a really nice guy. Um, uh, Scorpio. Uh, he has his Chiron in the same house that he's in. I mean, his same sign. He did a lot of charitable work, so he has Chiron in Scorpio in the same sign as his natal sign, natal sun. So his natal sun is in the same sign as his Chiron, which is Scorpio. He did a lot of public service, just a lot. So he's just downright nice guy. Really is. Just downright really 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 cool guy. And if I'm correct, he also gave Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. Um, he gave Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin his a Paul Gibson uh, guitar because Jimmy Page couldn't couldn't get one in England, so Joe Walsh got him one, and that Paul Gibson guitar is the one that he recorded a lot of his own Led Zeppelin music, and he also did toured it with it. He did the song "Remains the Same" with that same guitar. So anyway, Joel Walsh, his natal sun is a Scorpio, and here's another one, but this we could learn from it. We could still learn from it, even though we don't have his time of birth. We don't know what house his Scorpio is in. We know that he is a Scorpio, but we have a map of all the planets where they were at that year, at that date, and that's okay. We could learn from it. What he does have is what's called a cardinal hat, and you could see the red square. Here's his natal sun. It squares his natal moon, which squares his north node, which squares his Saturn and Mars look conjunct and goes back to his natal sun. And it makes this form of a cardinal hat. Um, Usually, people that have this pattern, um, they're it's very interesting um, 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 planet pattern because I'll tell you why. Um, People that have this go out in the world and they have this healing aspects, and usually they have this thing about them that they have to resolve that becomes public, and yet they're out there trying to um, help the world. It could be related to what they struggle, like a big struggle in their lives that they have to try to overcome. Could be public, could be private, but either way, they're out there, meanwhile, trying to bring something extraordinary to the world. And when they have this cardinal hat, that's an indication of it. So the Chiron is an asteroid, and when you have your 51st or 52nd birthday, usually you have what's called a Chiron return. The Chiron goes around the chart. Uh, your Chiron goes around the chart until it comes back and makes a full uh, return when you're 51, 52. A lot of people feel that they have a significant event that happens in their lives when they have a Chiron return. It doesn't necessarily mean it's painful, but a lot of people feel that it is. I had mine, but nothing in particular happened. But uh, all right. Besides the point. Um, well, actually, I did have mine, and more I think about it, more I think about it, it was painful. It was painful. I did have back surgery when I was 51, so there you go. I just remembered it. Okay. All right, besides the point. So the big thing about Joe Walsh, and this is something that we have to look at when we see people's charts, is that all the different planets that are in the same sign as your natal sun, which is his natal sun is right here. It actually indicates the big things in his life. So he has Mercury in Scorpio. He plays with the Eagles. He played with the Eagles. He co-wrote um, Hotel California, which is a very one of the best bands, best songs in rock history. And usually people think of rock and roll, they think of the underworld. So you could look at it that way, or just look at the fact that he sings. So he's been in a couple of bands. I can't think of the other ones at the moment, but his Chiron is the indication that he does also a lot of charitable work. He also did charitable work for the environment, for a lot of causes, just a lot of causes. If I'm correct, I think he was similar to Eric Clapton, who I think he helped out a lot of people who had substance abuse, but don't write that down in stone. I think his Wikipedia said that he 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 worked with uh, animals, Vet's Aid. Uh, it was in the lines of Farm Aid, with Willie Nelson. I wish I could meet this guy. This guy's he's just a really great guy. Very very charitable. Did a lot of charities, and just a great guy. Um, well, what do you call what do you call? I really enjoy his music. I think he's great. Um, there's just that was just one aspect of just not discriminating a person because of their sign. And you have whatever planets are in the same sign as that birth sun is the indication of what they hold throughout the rest of their lives. Um, yeah, it's it's really it's really important to look at things with non non-judgmental eyes, especially with the zodiac as well. Um, I wish I wished I knew what house he was in, but that's okay. That's all right. You look at the natal planets, and they're the most important things. They tell you more than the transits. Transits, they're okay, but they only tell you things that are just like almost temporary, and there's a lot of guessing, a lot of guessing. So I'll be back, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast.